Hello and welcome to another video of mine. In today's video, we are going to be talking about Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. Now, this is one of my to buy or not to buy videos. So, we're going to break down my experience with Space Marine 2, what kind of a game it is, how entertaining was it enjoyable, how long is the game, what is the gameplay like, and at the end of the video, I'm going to give you my 2 cents whether you should buy Space Marine 2 right now, or should you wait for a sale? Now, with that said, let's get started, folks.
What is your life?
My honor is my life.
What is your fate?
My duty is my fate.
What is your fear?
My fear is to fail.
What is your reward?
My salvation is my reward.
What is your craft?
My craft is death.
What is your pledge?
My pledge is eternal service.
Now, this game has been out for less than a week, so I'm going to try and avoid as many spoilers as I can. So this is mostly a spoiler-free video. Let's start with what kind of a game is Space Marine 2. Well, this is a third-person shooter hack and slash. And this has been developed by Saber Interactive and published by Focus Entertainment as a sequel to Warhammer 40k Space Marine, which came out more than a decade ago in 2011. The game has been released on PlayStation 5 now, on Windows, and I was playing this on my PC, and it's also on Xbox Series X and S. Now, so far, the game has received generally positive reviews from critics, and me being a player just like you, I'm going to give you my 2 cents about this, and I'm going to talk about the various aspects of this game, starting with the plot or the setting of this game. I want to talk about the setting or the plot of the game without giving away too much, because this game, according to me, is pretty good, and I would urge or recommend that you download this game, purchase this straight away, and experience the story campaign yourself. Now, the story campaign itself is not very long. If you're at it for numerous hours, probably you'll just get done with the story campaign in, say, about 12 to 14 hours. So it's not a very long game. But I'm going to talk about how that does not matter towards the end of this video. Now, let's talk about the setting, the plot of the conflict here. Now, Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 takes place during the era Indomitus. Now, it is a time of galactic conflict and renewal. The Imperium of Man is struggling to recover from the devastating effects of the 13th Black Crusade. A new Tyranid threat, High Fleet Leviathan, emerges from the Western Galaxy, posing a significant danger to humanity. The game's protagonist, whom you get to play as, is Captain Demetrian Titus, who is a seasoned space marine who has faced numerous trials. In fact, he was once imprisoned for heresy, but was later exonerated. Titus is now tasked with leading his squad to defend the Imperium from encroaching Tyranid forces and the insidious influence of chaos. Overall, Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 offers a gripping and action-packed narrative set in the brutal and unforgiving universe of Warhammer 40k. Now, I thought I would discuss about the length of the game towards the end of the game, the end of the video, but let me just talk about it here. Now, I don't think the length of this game should really matter when it comes to the value perspective, because this game has so many post-story campaign options available for you. Now, what do I mean by that? Now, this game just doesn't have a story campaign, but it also has a co-op mode called Operations, and 3 6 versus 6 competitive multiplayer modes like Annihilation, Seize Ground, capture, and control. So, players can choose from 6 different character classes and freely customize their player avatar with various cosmetic items. Now, you're not just left with the story campaign, but so much more post the story campaign. So, from the value perspective, in India, here, it just cost me 2,800 Indian rupees. So, it's not a very expensive game. But having said that, it offers way more than what it charges you. Now, the best thing about this game that I found was the fact that there was nothing that you have to purchase apart from what you pay for the game originally. So I paid only 2,800 rupees. That's it. There are no in game purchases. Like a lot of Ubisoft games are notoriously famous for that, where you've got to pay and pay and pay. Here, there is no such concept. You pay for the game, and that's about it. And if you've got like the not the base version, the version above that, then you even get a season pass. So if you've just got the base version, ultimately, if you won the season pass, then yeah, you've got to pay for that. But I think that's fair because this doesn't have unnecessary transactions in the game. And in 2024, having a game like this is rare because most of the game developers kind of put in so many in-game or in-app purchases that the whole experience gets spoiled. So here you're getting a raw experience. You pay the 2,800 rupees and that's about it, and you get all these different modes that you can play included in that 2,800 Indian rupees without paying anything extra. So I think from the value perspective, this game is definitely great. And I think we should support more games like this, where you don't have to keep on paying money over and over again just to get goodies or just to get more and more stuff in the game. I think we should go back to the good old days where games used to be simple. You just pay one charge and that's about it. You can experience the game like it's supposed to be experienced. Now, speaking of going back, this also reminds me of the good old days when games used to be really simple. Now, it's not a very complicated game, whether it's from the gameplay perspective or whether it's from the narrative or the story perspective. It's a very straightforward game. It's not an open world game, it's a hack and slash shooter game. In fact, it even reminded me in places of Gears of War. There are elements here, in fact, a few other games as well. I played Evil West just a few months back, or you could say a year back, and that was also a fantastic game. Not very long, but high on quality. And this also kind of reminded me of Outriders. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's a mix of a few games, but it's all brought together beautifully, and the presentation is absolutely stellar. I mean, there are places where your jaws will drop just looking at the visuals on screen. I mean, in terms of the visual fidelity, this game will not disappoint you. I mean, this is a gorgeous looking game. And if you've got the hardware to support it, like I was playing this on my 4070 Super, so most of the settings that I had was kept on high, and I was playing this in 4K. With DLSS tuned in, of course, everything looks sharp and crisp. And when my kid was actually taking a look at this game, he was telling that the game looks absolutely stunning. In fact, he was saying that everything looks so sharp. So DLSS, well, really great if you've got an NVIDIA machine. So I don't exactly know how this would perform in a PS5 or Xbox Series X or S. So I don't have that experience of playing this on a console because I played this on my PC. And on PC, there is no issue at all. No bugs, no jitters, no stutters. It's a seamless, smooth experience if you've got the right hardware for it. Now, like I said, I was playing this on my 4070 Super in 4K, and it looks absolutely gorgeous, guys. And if you've got a PC, then I would recommend that you play this on the PC because there you will really be able to take the full advantage of what this game is supposed to look like. So, we've spoken about the story or the setting or the plot, and we have also spoken about how this game looks visually. Let's quickly talk about the gameplay as well, and then we'll try to wrap this all up. Okay, so about the gameplay, now a quick disclaimer, I did not get to play any of the other modes in this game. I was simply playing the story campaign, so that's something to keep in mind. Now, if I do get to play the PvP, which I'm not really a big fan of, so if you've followed my channel, then you know that I don't play any multiplayer games or PvPs. So I generally play story campaigns. So my perspective on this gameplay is from that story campaign mode. Now, speaking of the story campaign mode and the combat or the gameplay, the combat strategy depends on the enemy. Now, what do I mean by that? You've got ranged attacks, which are effective against weaker foes like the Tyranid gaunts, while melee combat is necessary for stronger enemies like the Tyranid warriors. So, parrying and dodging are essential skills to master. Players can also rely on AI controlled Imperial Guard troops for support, and your armor basically provides you protection, but once it breaks, your health is vulnerable. There are definitely medkits or these medical stims, I think, which are all over the place, and that's crucial for replenishing your health and executing enemies. It helps you regenerate your armor as well. So, as many opportunities as you get, do try to go for that enemy execution. And if your character's health drops to zero, then they can be revived by your teammates. So, the AI controlled Imperial Guard troops, who are your teammates, they will come to your aid and they will revive you within 30 seconds. So, this is basically how the game plays, the story campaign. It's pretty straightforward. It, in fact, reminds you of the very old Xbox 360 games. The gameplay is very simple, hack and slash and a shooter. There are different types of weapons that you will come across as well. And if you're playing this with other players, then there is a sniper rifle as well. So I think it all depends on what kind of weapons you're using in what kind of modes that you're playing. For the story campaign, mainly I just had the bolt rifle and the heavy bolt rifle, and I had one of those swords with the saw, which again reminded me of Gears of War, especially when you go in for those execution moves. So overall, the gameplay is pretty good, but I will admit that it can get repetitive. So I think 12 to 14 hours is absolutely the sweet spot for this game, because I think if this game was any longer, we would have been in that territory of boredom. So 12 to 14 hours is exactly the sweet spot, and I will say it does not overstay its welcome. You will feel like you've played a game which was good. The story campaign will leave you satisfied towards the end of it. The story is also well knit. It's really good in terms of the pacing, in terms of, you can say, the screenplay or the story. It's pretty progressive, so it progresses well. Nowhere in the story campaign did I feel like, oh, this area, it's boring, or I've really got to do this, it feels like a chore. No. It is full on right from the moment you pick up your controller and hit that start button. The story campaign is absolutely a blast to play, and 12 to 14 hours I think was the sweet spot for this game. So overall, the story and the gameplay really come well together. Again, I haven't played the other modes, it's just my experience of the story campaign, but the story campaign is definitely a blast. And I think if you are a big fan of Warhammer, there's a lot of lore that you get to explore in this game. You will find out things about the overall Warhammer universe as well. Even if you're new to this whole universe, I don't think you'll really find a problem playing this game. Now, do you need to play the first game, Warhammer 40k Space Marine, the first one? Not necessarily. But if you do play this game, you will get more context about this universe, about these characters. And I think it is definitely recommended to play the first game as well. But even if you have not, you're going to be fine jumping into the whole universe of Warhammer with Space Marines 2. So let me bring this all together and give you my final 2 cents about Space Marine 2. Now, this is definitely a brutal and a satisfying action game that captures the essence of the Warhammer 40,000 universe. With its intense combat, stunning, gorgeous, breathtaking visuals, and an immersive atmosphere, it's a must-play for fans of the franchise and action-packed shooters alike. While the campaign may be somewhat linear and not very long, I think it does not overstay its welcome. So it's timed right. It is a blast to just go past the story, and the story is also put together really well. The gameplay is satisfying, the combat is addictive, it will always keep you on the edge at the tip of your toes, and it is a thrilling experience from start to finish. Now, that's my 2 cents about Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. What do you think about this game? If you've played it already, please let me know in the comment section. And if you have not played Warhammer 2, Space Marine 2, that is, what are you waiting for? This game is an absolute blast, guys. Go ahead. I don't think you should wait for a sale even because this game is inexpensive. Here in India, it was only 2,800 Indian rupees, so it's not very expensive to get. And you get more than what you're paying for in this case. So go ahead, buy Space Marine 2, have a blast with this game. Come back and comment what your experience has been like. And it is always great to talk to fellow gamers and know their perspective on these games that I personally love as well. But hey, it's a wrap for this one. Before I go, if you've liked this content, then I would greatly appreciate it if you could hit that like and subscribe button and also that bell icon in case you want to get notified with all my latest videos. When you share this video with your friends and family who are into gaming, I do get YouTube brownie points as well. So I would greatly appreciate it if you could even share this video with your loved ones. With that said, I will see you lovely folks in my next video. Until that time, I'll say take care, stay safe, and may God bless you all.